Welcome back. This is M-Dog, and we're going to throw our carp lines in just for a few minutes here, see if we can check how active this bear spot is. Where are we headed here? We want to go to the 55 spot. Which is right here. And we're going to clip it 21 per normal. And we're using a combination of lemon and lime stuff. I will show you in more detail here as we get settled in. And some old citrus type PVA that I've had for a while. My understanding is that this spot is at least a little bit active still after the reset. Alright, so we are using Juicy Lemon 18 with citrus corn, citrus acid dip. Second one we're using Lime 20 citrus. And then the third one we're using Lemon 14, again trying to get bite rate. If we see that we're catching a reasonable amount of fish on this third line, I might suggest it would be worth going to all three like this if you're trying to grind for silver. Of course, if you're trying to hit a black carp trophy, you probably want to use the first two setups, maybe even go up to Lime 26 or Juicy Lemon 26, whatever the larger size is there. But for recording this video purposes, I more want to see, do we have a reasonable amount of fish activity to even spend time here. So a quick bite on our 14. Going to go through a lot of smaller fish this way, but again, might be worth it if we get a mix of decent fish as well. Might just be worth it. So we did have patch notes from the reset. Amount of RAM required to load Quarry has been reduced, and of course folks whose computers have a harder time running some of the water bodies, I guess that's good news, especially when it comes to Quarry. Apparently it was impossible to make the smoked salmon recipe using Ladoga salmon. They fixed that. And I had never heard about this, but I guess after unlocking the Cobra skill in the float fishing skill tree, you couldn't use the Cobra without also unlocking using classic hair rig in the bottom skill tree, which seems like a weird connection there. I don't know how that, how that happened in the programming, but anyway, it looks like that's been fixed as well. So if folks who are really into float fishing and don't want to touch bottom fishing now can use their Cobra skill, which, man, that's unlocked all the way down here. So you'd have to be really hardcore into float fishing to level it up to this point, and to not have bottom fishing up to classic hair rig. So, this is a very narrow, small percentage of people, I would think. And of course, Cobra is pretty far down here on bottom fishing as well. But I think a higher percentage of people, I'm sure of this, would unlock that through the bottom skill tree before they would on the float. So that's an interesting little bug that they addressed, and hopefully will no longer cause anybody any issues. I chose to come to Bear just to kind of get an update on how Bear was feeling post update. I think that still seeing a lot of nice rare carp at Amber. So I was tempted to go back there, but I just wanted to do something at Bear since it's been a little while. Let's see which. I feel like I've seen some records pop up. Yeah, here's one for common scaly albino. Maybe some of the records I've seen pop up in the last day or the last 24 hours have been I guess less than 24 hours because the update was just, oh my goodness, now I can't remember. Was it last night or 2 nights ago? No, it was last night. So anyway, there have been some nice rares still being caught, which is a good sign. Hey, there's a small chance this could be like, you know, a decent little black carp looking at the time of day. Black carp are fairly, I think rare might be overstating it, but unless it's really on fire, you're only going to see a small amount of black carp, you know, in any given fishing session. And this actually is not a black carp, this is a common. But if you're going to see them, they tend to be this time of day, late afternoon, early evening. Or sometimes you'll hit them in the mornings. But I find for me they're more consistent this time of day. Especially at Old Berg, if I'm going to hit a black carp, this is usually when I'm looking at it. And I think I have trophied black carp here and Old Berg, but let's double check that. If for some reason I'm remembering wrong and I haven't, this spot might be a good chance to just like try to sit on trophy with like really fat boilies, but I'm pretty sure I have. It's just been a long time since I've caught a black carp trophy. But so much of our fishing lately tends to be at amber when we're going for carp. So that was a nice fish. Again, possibly an argument to just, if you're trying to just kind of grind it out, or if you're new to carp fishing, to go in with something like this setup. I would guess that PVA is optional. I bet you're still going to catch some fish without PVA. I mean, if you can feed the water somehow, it's always good, but... Oh, mercy. We did not have our friction brake correct there. Alright. Well, it's the right time of day to be testing this, but... I mean, it is... The spot is active, right? I mean, we're catching some fish, so... It's certainly a good sign. And there's a grass carp. Where there are grass carp, there could be black carp. There could be black carp. We're about to hit some evening. Alright, let's check those black carp trophies. Let's see. Statistics, trophies, Old Berg. I do not have it on Old Berg. So next Old Berg black carp spot, I ought to just go hang out there. We do have a nice fat black carp here at Bear, and it was on Cocoa Cream. I think I've had multiple black carp trophies here, but I thought I had one at Old Berg. Maybe I had one at Old Berg before the trophy cards came out. Maybe that's the case. I was going to look at... I was really curious about... And y'all may have seen it by now. I mean, it was... The announcement was so brief that I decided not to necessarily make a video just about this announcement. Like, a lot of times I will if there's a big announcement about what's coming up, or... So next time we have a little dead space, let's talk about the news that was posted. Man, has it already been a week ago? Surely not. Actually, I can see it on this thing too. Right? Where are the updates for RF4? June 17th. Yeah, it's been like 4 days. I don't know. That's a decent fish, and that's with the 14 size boilies. So again, it may just be more fun to come here either with like lime 16 or lemon 14 and just catch a higher percentage of fish. I don't know. I'm glad that we tried this with at least one rod, so that in case that's kind of the approach that you're after, seems like that is working pretty well. All right, so let's, no, not that. Let's, oh man, we're getting another bite. I think as we slide into the overnight hours, we'll have some pretty calm space, so we'll read this news update. So, yeah, again, if you look at lemon, we're doing pop-up right now. 14 is getting the best bite rate. You could also try classic hair, but 18 is doing okay as well. And again, I think if you want to sit on black carp trophy, you know, having a couple rods set up with the big boy juicy lemon might be the way to go. And this is the PVA we're using. The other option, if you look at the weeklies on black carp, I think they're just really liking the lemon and lime. So fresh lime 20 pop-ups working. I don't have any of the other sizes, and there's not a store at Bear, or I would test the smaller lime size as well. And in fact, what would be fun is to try double boilie, 14 lemon, 16 lime, or whatever the size is, you know, the number it says on there. All right, so in a pretty quick amount of time, we have 6 keepers, although this is a juvenile for sure, but some decent little, you know, quick snapshot of what fishing can look like here. And so that's encouraging. I'll give it a little bit longer. We'll hang out a little bit longer. I think overnight will be pretty slow. Then of course it might pop off a little bit in the morning. Trying to get to the news story here without coming off the game. There we go. All right, so let's look at this really quick. I didn't make a separate video on this because it was so brief, but this is the collectible cards announcement. And it's really interesting. Okay, so let's just see what this says first, and then I'll talk about it. Dear anglers, when collectible cards will be added to the game. New collectible cards will be added to the game. When catching a trophy, players will have a chance to get one of many collectible cards that make up various thematic collections. The collections will be available for viewing by other players. Best regards, your RF4 team. So it's not a direct correlation of how many trophies you've caught, because you've got a chance to get it. when you catch a trophy. So it's trophy only. You know, and there's so little information provided here. Like I don't want to. There are many cards collected by that specific species of trophy that you just caught? Or does it not matter the species? In other words, does the card correlate to the trophy of the fish you just caught? You would think so, right? If not, we're just farming Crucian gibbles or bream or whatever and trying to get cards as quick as we can for various fish. Although, are we? Because I can't even tell, other than the fact that other players are going to view them, which, that's fine. Do they do anything else for you? And it does say these are just some samples of what they will look like. I do like that they kind of look like real playing cards. I mean, they don't, but I'm just saying, like, the size of the card seems like a standard card. The art, I think, looks pretty interesting. Has the scientific name of the fish on there. Again, this is such brief information. You know, it leaves so many questions. I'm just like, I don't really know what's coming with this. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. You know, one of the issues is collectible cards were introduced in Fisher Online, right? If you've played Fisher Online, there's collectible cards in there. If you've not played, it's another, fishing sim. And at some point in the past year or so, maybe, I don't know exactly when, but collectible cards were added. And the way it works in that game is, I don't believe, it's not tied to trophies. You just have a small chance of getting one based on, I don't know what factors, to be honest. You just sort of slowly collect them. But it actually has a reward tied to it. So let's say you get the collectible card for shrimp bait. Well, once you get 4 of them, I think it's 4 on shrimp, who knows, you combine them, and then that gives you the reward of that bait. You get a bunch of shrimp bait, basically. And some of them are like commons all the way up to much rarer, more high value collectible cards. But this sounds very different than that, because this sounds like something you are showing off, not something you are combining or turning in for a prize. Because in the other example I'm talking about, those just go away. Like once you have 3 out of 3, 4 out of 4, however many you have to collect, they go away and it starts over. The next time you get one, you have 1 out of 4 or whatever. This seems like more of a, another way to look at somebody's account, and it seems like something to kind of show off to your friends, basically. And just something else to try to collect, I guess. Which some of those tasks, if there's not, at this point, how many do we have? We have qualifications, which technically they do add, they do lead to medals that you can put up in your house, stuff like that, right? We've got the trophy cards that you can fill in. We have various achievements. We have awards if you like to do the, trying to get on the top of the leaderboard for certain things. Some, like official tournaments and stuff, might hand out rewards. I don't know. I don't do a lot of stuff with those things. But so it's like we have several things to track, which I think for some people probably do add a certain amount of value to the game, right? Because you're like, oh, I want to accomplish this. It gives you a goal to set your sights on. Again, there's not enough info in this update for me to know for sure, but that's what it seems like this is. And your reward in this case, I mean, having something to show off, but also just being able to look at the different cards. I still am very curious, you know, what are the thematic collections? Anyway, we'll find out when it releases. No info about when it's coming, or if anything else will be in this particular update. But yeah, I at least wanted to mention it again. I don't. It's hard to have thoughts about something that I mostly just have questions about, but I'll be really curious to see how they do implement it. Of all the other fishing games I've played, I'm trying to think of, is this a thing from other games as well? That specific idea of having collectible cards, I just, other than Fisher Online, that my mind is coming up with, I just don't remember it. Let me know in chat if you've got other examples of how this has been implemented in other fishing games. And that's not to say that how Russian Fishing 4 will implement it will be anything like, you know, how anyone else has, but struck me as an interesting, like, yeah, just kind of out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting that at all. We may be just sitting here. I mean, hopefully around 3 or 4, we'll get a little bit more of an activation of the spot. It looks like, you know, although we did catch the one leather, mostly it looks like what we're looking at here is commons and grass carp, with that small chance of black carp or maybe leather carp. Let's see here. When people have posted about this spot on VK, it does look like mostly what we're seeing is, in fact, almost exclusively what we're seeing is commons and grass carp with the occasional black carp. So that leather carp might even be a little bit rarer than a black carp in this spot right now, at least based on the other results I'm seeing from people that have posted about this spot. Our smaller boilie size is coming through for us here, allowing us to catch fish. Ooh, and it's a decent one. It's probably a grass carp or a black carp, just in the sense that it's not that big, but it pulled pretty strong at first. Definitely feels like a grass carp. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Actually, let's type in lemon. Yeah, let's do this one again. Oh, these are slightly different, aren't they? All right, that's fine. We now know that having slightly different PVA or ground bait recipes is not as big a deal as we thought. All right, let me go. I'm going to preheat the oven really quick so I can start getting dinner ready for the kids. So I'm just going to leave this sitting for just a minute. I'll be right back. All right, I'll be right back. Looks like the middle line might have something going on. I actually can't tell. I guess it does. Just swam right towards us. Yeah, nighttime is brutal. Nighttime was brutal. Again, more of a reason to have those smaller boilies and just get as active of a result as you can, unless you are feeling patient. Now we just need to relax for a minute here, because hopefully we'll get a couple of decent fish in this, like, 5 to 7 a.m. type time frame. We'll see. We've changed the PVA on a couple of them. I don't know. This PVA might not be quite as effective. Looks like we are getting a nibble on the third line, though. We got a nibbler. Come on. Let's go out with a bang here. I'm gonna have to keep my eye out for Old Berg black carp opportunity. Black carp opportunities. It's bothering me that I don't have a black carp trophy there, and that's not going to be an easy one necessarily. It just depends on. You just got to be patient, find an active spot. That fish on the third line just completely went away, it seems like. Oh, wow. Also, we got nibbles on all three. See if we can get this one back in pretty quick. Still get another fish on this line at least. Potentially. I was hoping we at least see one black carp. I'm starting to think that that will not be the case. I know they're here. I mean, I know they're rare, but I know they're here. It's just a matter of being patient for them. I think this lime, well, I don't know. I'd have to go and look in the with the fish. I was trying to decide if the lime or the lemon, in terms of the larger boilie size, has been better. There we go. There it is. Okay. That's awesome. We did it. Alright, which one would we rather have on here? This is I'm telling you, this PVA right here is going to slow down the bite rate even more. It's got like pretty big components. Alright, so black carp came in on juicy lemon. Fresh lime. Fresh lime. I think, at least recently, alright, there's juicy lemon 18, but that was the juvenile. I think overall, oh, there's an 18. There's another 18, but it's another juvenile. There's an 18. There's lime again. And there's 18. So lemon 18. So it's close to even. I don't know that in this amount of time, we probably can't say one's better than the other. I was leaning towards lime, and then we hit the black carp on the lemon. So I don't know. And that's just for the larger size. Well, the mid-size boilie. For the small one, all we've tried is the lemon. Alright, we're just going to give this just a couple more minutes here. And then we will wrap this one up. This may be our last fish. Wow. We're going to get 3 more fish, possibly. I'm just not going to put this one back in the water, because we've got bites or nibbles or fish on the other 2 lines already, so. Alright, so there's another grass carp. Again, another decent fish on the 14 size boilie. Unless you're just trying to sit trophy. As is often the case, going a little bit smaller at bear is often the answer. Alright, come on. Let's get our last fish. Let's see what it is. We've had black, grass, common, last 3 fish. Let's see what this one is. This is the bait that we caught the black carp on. Still early enough that that's possible. Early enough in the morning. Come on. You just can't think about it or it'll drive you crazy when it's nibbling like this. Yeah, I'm seeing in chat some of the other people are catching black carp occasionally too. Ooh, somebody just caught a 21 kilo frame-sided carp on telestick. That is so scary. Well done, whoever you are. Alright. See what our last fish of the day is. So this will be our 18th keeper. It's another grass carp. So 18 keepers, 31 minutes. You know, especially for a grass carp and black carp spot, which tend to not be, when you're using like citrus or whatever baits they're trying to target those fish, it seems like usually it's a little slower than other approaches. It's not that bad. Almost 200 silver. That black carp will be the highest. So pretty good. We'll take it. We'll take it. Not a bad little spot, especially if you're kind of easing into carp fishing with a brand new Fortuna carp rod, a caliber HSV. You could do a lot worse than sitting on that spot and fighting the mighty grass carp and black carp. All right, hey, thanks for watching. Tight lines, and I will see you next time.